Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning. KIDO Talk Radio. Joined now by one of our favorite people. We like to refer to him as Don't Blame Me. I voted for Tommy for governor. Tommy Ahlquist from Ball Ventures Ahlquist joins us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
I'm living the dream here, and I'm going to try not to be too much of a fanboy with you, but we've got a lot to talk about. Most notably, Tom Cruise coming back for a Top Gun sequel. You remember Top Gun? That happened in our day. Your thoughts?
Oh, hey, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Anytime we can flash back us old guys and relive some of that nostalgia, it's good. You know that, Kevin.
Exactly. As you always say, Kevin, you're always living in the past. But the future is here. Salzer Medical Group, great grand opening, groundbreaking yesterday. To talk about the future of medicine in the Treasure Valley. You've talked about this for quite some time, whether it was your work with Salzer, whether it was Ball Ventures Ahlquist, whether it was your Inspire Excellence podcast. Medicine is issue number one in Idaho and America.
Yeah, we're really excited. After the kind of going around the state talking to everyone about healthcare and coming back and just thinking, hey, there's got to be a private sector solution where we can claw back some of the changes that happen in medicine that weren't good for patients or providers, and where can we do it and how can we do it? And Salzer Medical Group was the perfect chassis for us to join with and partner with those physicians. They do a great job. They have great metrics on how they take care of their people and how they provide it at a low cost, right? So that's where we started, and then we're going to add on services, and then the key, Kevin, is going to be technology. We have to disrupt the way current healthcare is delivered and the accessibility to cost of care for patients. So if you know the cost and quality before you go into a visit, that will help drive behaviors that are really healthy. So if you know exactly what it's cost, you know your provider, you can get in, you can get access, you can pay your bill at the time you leave. That's what we're shooting for. And I think part of that is putting all these ancillary services back so that you do have an outpatient delivery system that is far less expensive than a hospital-centric system. And then the next part of it is the technology that we'll be rolling out this fall. We have some great partners there that are truly going to disrupt with technology how you access, how you schedule appointments, and then most importantly, how you pay your bill. So we're excited. Yesterday was a big day. We announced that 270,000 square feet, 2 buildings that will be kind of our Ada County Salzer headquarters at 10 Mile. We'll still be very, very involved in Canyon County. Salzer's been there for 60 years, and we'll expand in Canyon County too. But we're very excited. We've assembled quite a team, and I'm just honored to be around them. Actually, it's every day I'm with them. Ed Castledyne's leading the charge for us, and then Dr. John Kaiser's our CEO of Salzer Health. They're amazing. So it's been fun.
Tommy, how are you going to get the billing under control? Is it the insurance companies? I mean, you go back. I mean, medicine is who and what you are. It's in your DNA. That you talked about this yesterday of giving somebody a stitch and then all of a sudden having to charge them $750, if not more, getting the cost under control.
So there's a lot of blame that goes around and a lot of frustration, but actually the insurance companies have been fantastic for us to work with so far. And everyone thinks it's a mystery, but if we're Salzer Health and we have a contract with your insurance company, we know immediately what it's going to cost for you to come to us. And then what we need to do is work every day to keep the cost of that delivery of that care down. So that's one of the things we're doing at 10 Mile. I'm an ER doctor. We could have opened a freestanding emergency room. We probably would have made a lot more money than that, Kevin, doing it that, but we're not. We're not going to do it. We're going to do a 24-hour urgent care so we can keep costs down. It's things like that all the way through our system and through the Salzer Health delivery where we will be cost conscious, not so that we can bill the most or receive the most money from an insurance company or from the government. The problem here, Kevin, as you know, anytime the government throws a bunch of money at anything, look at the cost of college, look at healthcare, it just drives costs up. So we need to be conscious of every fee schedule and try to keep the cost down and then pass that along to families. But the insurance companies have been very, very, very good for us to work with so far, and they will be our partners through this because they want to keep costs down too. I mean, everyone wants the same thing. I think Ed Castledyne yesterday at the groundbreaking said it best. He said, people have been talking about this for years. We're actually going to do something. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. we'll have challenges all along the way, but so far, I think there's a lot of momentum for people to say, hey, let's try this differently. Let's disrupt the way it's delivered, and let's do it right here in Idaho.
Tommy Ahlquist joining us, Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio from Ball Ventures Ahlquist. What was it like for you to realize this dream, Ball Ventures Ahlquist, with your father, and then on stage with all the folks, especially Mayor Tammy, who you're close to, and Governor Little, who you're very close to as well, who was, the big competitor with you for 2 years?
Yeah, so first of all, I think you've spent a little time around our team we have at Ball Ventures Ahlquist. It's just every day I go to work, it's not work. It's there's energy, there's passion, there's people that work really hard, and as you know, my dad works there with me, and I think someone made the joke yesterday that he works for me, but if anyone knows him, he's the chief. He's the main guy. So I love that. And then Mayor Tammy, I'll just quickly, I've been around her so long, and what comes to mind every time I'm around her is just authenticity. She genuinely loves this community and the people of this community. And I'm sad. I know everyone's time comes to an end, but she's done such an amazing job. Very passionate, and all of the behind-the-scenes things that she has done for the Boys and Girls Club and the other nonprofits, as you know, to make our community great. And then yesterday was a great day for me. One of the lasting friendships, truly genuine friendships from my time dipping into politics, as you know, is I became very good friends with Governor Little. He is an authentic guy that loves this state, loves the people of this state, and we spent a lot of time together. I mean, you think of crossing paths almost every day on a campaign trail and interacting, and I gained a ton of respect for him during the process. And then since the election, we have developed a very good friendship that's pretty unique, right? I mean, you have a competitor like that where, yeah, you're both going at something. But I couldn't be happier with that friendship and what he's doing and his passion for making Idaho better, and certainly will do anything I can to help him to keep this the greatest place to live in the country.
A couple more questions. I know you're very busy, Tommy. What are you not doing? I mean, you're working with Kristen Armstrong with Pivot. You're working developing Salzer Medical Group. You're building throughout Meridian. You've got the golf thing going on. Ball Ventures Ahlquist, all throughout the country. What's your plan for world domination? Are we hearing about it right now on KIDO Talk Radio?
Hey, all I want to do is go watch the new Top Gun with you. Really, that's the most important thing right now. No, I just you just take a lot of ideas and you surround yourself with great people. And our partnership with Ball Ventures, Courtney Lydiard out of Eastern Idaho, another great friend from the campaign. And their entire company, this is a company that's doing things all over the country and doing it very, very well. So it's just very professionally satisfying. And I think if you surround yourself with great people, work really, really hard, and do things for the right reasons, that's what drives business. But it also is a pretty good way to live life. So I'm very, very happy right now. And I'm also recovering, Kevin, as you know. Was going really hard and had a little stumble with my health, and just spending a little bit more time breathing Idaho mountain air right now and trying to get a little balance back in with all the work.
Well, and again, we'll get you out on this one. I would think if people would look at you and look at me, who would be the first candidate to have a heart attack, and not to joke about it, I would have won hands down. And obviously you've disclosed that. We were very concerned about you, and we're glad you're back. And, you're a treasure to our community. You always put everyone else over, but, you're very important to us. Can you share with us that experience?
Yeah, Kevin, I think all of us know how important health is, right? And we know how important wellness is, and we try. We've talked about this. You and I have talked about this. You try to do the things you can to take care of your body. But as you work hard and as you lose a little balance in your life, probably, and as you have stress and probably a few too many cheeseburgers and some bad DNA with higher cholesterol. I mean, you get older, things happen. So I started having chest pain a few months ago, and probably even as a physician ignored my symptoms a little bit. Just thought, It's atypical. Finally went to my doctor and ultimately went in and had some coronary artery disease that required a stent. I had a 85% lesion in my left anterior descending artery. Got a stent, but they found during that stent, the irony is it saved my life, because getting that fixed, they found a congenital problem with one of my arteries that needed surgery emergently. And so I had open heart surgery. Very, very fortunate that my very best friend in life is a cardiothoracic surgeon. I went to medical school with him. It's amazing with modern medicine. So a little over 3 weeks ago, he opened me up and redid all my plumbing on my heart and sent me. I was out of the hospital 40 hours later, and boy, I'll tell you, it's humbling I've been around very, very ill people and people that needed care and were dependent 100% on others to heal them before, and my life, but I've never been a patient like this, and it was humbling. It's something that you go through and clearly changes your perspective a little bit. So, I'm very grateful to be back this quickly. I was joking with Reverend Bill at the Recovery Lodge opening the other day. I sent him a text and said, "Hey, Rev, I can't be there for the grand opening." And you know that guy, Kevin. I think he prayed me back this quickly. So I think because of that, I don't know. 3 weeks out, and I was already there with him. And as you know, not to change subjects back to something else, but what that guy's doing out there in Nampa for the people with medical needs, it meant even more to me, because I can't even imagine, Kevin, going through what I just did if I were homeless or if I didn't have a way to cover the cost of my care. I just, it's humbling to go through these experiences and then hopefully take them, use them to go help others and really develop even more empathy for the people around you that need things. And that's why I love Reverend Bill, right? It's all about other people. And Kevin, you always are talking to other people and about other things, but you're about one of the most giving guys I've ever been around. And in the last several months, I just want to thank you for all you do, because I just love being around you, because you're always about everyone else, first in, last out, and appreciate your friendship. And Kev, during this illness, thanks for checking in so often. It meant the world to me.
Well, I didn't want to bother you, number one, but you scared the heck out of me. And, Tommy, we love you. Is there any advice you would give people? Finally, I know you're very busy, so we'll let you go on this one, but to people that, might have a chest pain or might have some concerns and blow it off.
Yeah, I just go get checked. The one nice thing about most health issues, whether it's your heart or it's diabetes or hypertension or strokes or cancer, the earlier you get in and the better you go in and get those screenings, and the more you have a primary care doctor to help guide you, if you catch it early, you will do okay. Modern medicine's amazing, but I think with as busy as life is and as hard as we go, sometimes we don't take those warning signs from our body, and I certainly didn't. I look back over the last several months, and those signs were there, and I ignored them, passed it off to just, I'm just getting a little older. So listen to your body, go get checked. And then the second thing is, with Kristen Armstrong, with what we're doing with these wellness centers, it's funny that we just opened, and that's what we're focusing on, is prevention and wellness and balance in people's lives and trying to help them. But we all need that. And so take care of your body, do the things that will give you those years and that quality of life that you deserve. And that's not easy. Everyone talks about change and diet and health and exercise, but it's just not easy to do that. But take the time, figure out a way to develop those habits of healthy living and eating, and we all hear it. I can't tell you for how many years my doctor, Dr. Poignet, has told me, hey, you gotta slow down a little bit. You gotta balance. You gotta fit time into exercise, and change your diet a little bit. And boy, I'm going to do it now, Kev, and I'm gonna have you do it with me, because we got to be around a while longer together. We got to be around for Top Gun 3 here in about 15, 20 years.
Yeah, yes, yes, sir. Tommy, we appreciate you, and we look forward to hearing more and whatever we can do to help you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Kev. Love and appreciate you, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Love you, Tommy. There we have it. Tommy Ahlquist, a great man, talking about the great things going on in the Treasure Valley and sharing with us right here on KIDO Talk Radio. what just happened to him and how to prevent that and how to take care of yourself. Great information. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. And let's go to the phones. We go to Bill. Bill, good morning. You're on KIDO Talk Radio. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Ray. You can call me Ray. You can call me Jay. Hey, I was thinking about what Liberty Linda had said this morning when she was talking about the fact that most Americans really want what's best for the United States. I would actually take that a little bit further and say that I think anybody, regardless of your political persuasion, wants what's best for the United States. The problem is what they believe is actually good for the United States. We've got infiltrations and we've got overreach and we've got corruption and we've got all kinds of things at every level of government. And one of the things I think I'd like to launch a verbal or a political grenade for your consideration. Our governments are notorious for redefining the English language, putting us all in a box through basic generalities. Like this thing with right-wing extremism, and then you've got the left agitators and all that. But what we really have to do is a lot like what we have to do with the president. You can't just support a president without understanding the issues and the positions that he's taking on an issue. So if we were to talk about something as contentious as we possibly could, let's talk about Ilhan Omar. You know what I mean? So she says, she's now extreme because she says that we should abolish ICE and abolish DHS. But yet, and the government says that the right is extreme because, we believe in the New World Order. We believe in constitutional principles. We believe in standing up against, killing babies and going back to constitutional money and all of that. So what am I saying, really?
Hold on, Bill. Hold on, Bill. What are you saying?
Yeah. Well, what I'd like to say is let's just consider what comes out of the mouth of the people that are talking to be able to find out if there's any credibility in what they're saying. Now, I'm not saying that Ilhan Omar is not a radical communist Muslim agitator hell-bent on destroying the country. She definitely is. But let's look at what she's saying. When she talks about abolishing ICE and she talks about abolishing the Department of Homeland Security, it isn't about what she actually believes when she says that. That's the thing. It's about what she's actually saying. Now, what she's saying is a lot in common with a lot of the way the people are fed up with this country. The Department of Homeland Security has been one of the most abusive federal agencies that has been guilty of redefining or putting people in boxes by declaring, us a war zone and saying that people that believe in, the Constitution are the enemy. I would advocate with her, not standing with her, of course, but believing in the statement that she made clearly about the abolishing DHS because of their abuse if they can't be put back in the box. As for ICE, that's a different thing. The other thing to consider is let's take something very, very sensitive like the Jews, okay? She said that Jesus was a Palestinian and not a Jew, okay? There's something very, very critical to understand here. Jesus was not a Jew. There is nowhere in Scripture that Jesus claimed that he was a Jew. He was a Nazarene from Galilee that came from where Galilee was a part of ancient Palestine, okay? So rather than just saying, oh, my gosh, he's anti-Semitic, you know what? The government, again, wants to be able to put you in a box and to be able to tell you what to believe and what to think. And anybody that challenges the government is anti-government. Anybody that questions the Jews is anti-Semitic. No. This is a land of critical thinkers. And the fact that people do not critically think anymore, we almost decide that we want to be the frog in the pot, or the crab in the pot. When somebody tries to critically think, we pull them back in and go, no, you're not allowed to think that way. And this is how government gains control over people and to the point of genocide, where they start killing dissidents that do not follow the narrative. And this is why America is in such a dangerous place right now, is because we're not even allowed to question anything that exceeds or steps outside of the media narrative.
And we're just fine being outside the media narrative, Bill.
Yes. So we need to be able to operate that way. And we all need to ask ourselves together, what is really best for America? We still are under rule of law, but when we have so many people that are so busy and they don't have enough information and they're not well read, and, people will call me and they'll go, Tom, I have I totally believe you. You're passionate and you're consistent on the radio, but I have no idea what you're saying. And it's like, wait a minute. I'm like the surfer
I thought your name was Bill.
Well, I mean, I read my first book when I was 45, okay? And so it's not like I'm some smart guy. It's just I have a passion, and I read, and I realized that I wanted to know what was going on in the country and understand how I'm being played. And if y'all want to know how you've been played, then you got to start understanding what's going on. And that's the essence of why I've been on the radio, why you've been on the radio, is so people can understand where the truth is coming from, to be able to separate the truth from the lies. And so, hey, if I got a target on my forehead, I'm willing to take it, because you know what? My American peeps here in Idaho are worth it. You're worth it. And so we're all going to have to make sacrifices at some point, and it's easier to make political sacrifices by saying things that, oh my gosh, you might offend somebody, than it is when somebody knocks on your door and decides to be able to take you down.
Well, Bill, thank you for the call.
Hey, I love you, man.
I love you,
Bill.
Bill.
I appreciate you allowing me on.
You take care.
You too. Bye.
Very good words by our new friend, Bill. Your reaction next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Maggie. Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller, in the morning. Blair, good morning. Thanks for your patience.
Hey, no problem. It's always good to talk with you, Kevin. Hey, I've got two comments real quick. The first one on Ilhan Omar. I wouldn't pay attention to anything that woman says. She's got an anti-Semitic streak through her that's a mile wide. But the second thing is I wanted to address one of the comments that Bill made, and that was referring to Ilhan Omar's comment that Jesus was a Palestinian. That's simply false. The Palestinian as a nation did not exist until Israel recognized them in the 1980s. Before that, it was a region referred to by the British when the British had the land in the 1800s. But at the time that Christ lived, there was no such thing as the Palestinians. There was no such land as Palestine. So to refer to Christ as a Palestinian is wholly false. Christ, by lineage, was of the house of David. He was literally the king of Israel, or would have been if the Romans weren't ruling. He was of the house of Judah, which was why they were called the Jews. So, little factual correction there.
Well, what gets
me,
before you go, but what gets me with this is, Omar and Cortez and whoever else can say whatever they want, and yet you have people saying, jokingly, send her home, and all of a sudden, now you've got people saying that they went too far. It's a political rally. It's supposed to be fun. Where's the sense of humor here?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you also heard, but apparently now there's questions about whether or not Omar came into the country legally. Apparently she forged her papers. And this is aside from the fact that she was married to her brother at the time. She apparently portrayed herself as a family who were granted entrance, or as part of that family. So she's got some, I think the reason why she wants to get rid of ICE is because they're going to come take her and lock her up. They're going to toss her out of Congress. So...
Now, that would be funny. But anyway, Blair, appreciate you listening to KIDO Talk Radio.
Every morning, Kevin. Every morning. Don't miss a show. Thanks, dude.
Thank you, brother.
See you later.
See ya. Russell in Meridian with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Russell.
Good morning, Kevin. I turned on the radio. I hadn't had it on continually, but then Bill was right on the radio. And I just want to say I appreciate not the passion, I hate that word, but the thinking that he said. And even though he may come out with false conclusions like Jesus is not a Jew, well, he came to his own, but his own did not receive him. So, those were the Jews. So, but the point he was making about the ability to think as an American citizen, this is the target. This is the target of left-wing propaganda and what's happened in the universities and the educational institutions of America, and why we have, and why we would accept Ilhan Omar, and why we'd accept a president standing up and saying this is not a Christian country. I mean, why would people accept that? We love our neighbor as ourselves. We do unto others as we would have them do unto us. We are the most superior culture in the in the entire world. And, for Ilhan Omar, who represents Islam, which is a substandard culture where love is not the center of their culture. And that's what this is really all about. And I say our great President Trump, he represents what was and is the Christian culture, even though he may not be a Christian directly. He's being used by the living God to turn this country back to what we really are at its heart in true reality. I mean, when you go through the grocery store and someone says, have a nice day, someone really means that. How was your day going? I mean, they don't say these things in third world countries. And he's pointing to this reality. God is using our president to show us who we are in the soul. We are a Christian country, and it was an absolute lie when Obama, the president, said we are not a Christian country. So I appreciate what Bill said in the sense that, we can think. When he said, I didn't read a book till I was 45, well, there's a lot of people out there that weren't indoctrinated into higher education, but are well-read, and they can get on the radio. You give them the ability. They think outside of all that propaganda, and that's what I appreciate about Bill's call, even though I disagree with him. So thank you, Kevin.
Russell, thank you. God bless.
You too. Thank you, buddy.
All right. We appreciate Russell. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, taking more of your phone calls.
There's such hatred. They have such hatred. I've seen statements that they made with such hatred toward our country. And I don't think that's a good thing. They should embrace our country. They should love our country. Well, I didn't like that they did it, and I started speaking very quickly. I could have stood back. I was not happy with it. I disagree with it. But again, I didn't say that. They did.
Steve in Meridian with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Kevin. Hey, great morning to you. Happy Friday. Thank God for America and for President Trump. I'm so happy for you and other people that allow the right attitude and the right perspective to be sounded out, Kevin. I just have to say that the last caller, I just happened to get in my car and tune into you as I always do. And I love what the last guy said. It's really not just about political beliefs and he said, she said, and where we're from and which policy. It's a spiritual contest between good and evil. And America did not become great haphazardly or by random coincidence. It's because of we have more Christians in this nation than any other in the world. Not because we have more Muslims, not because we have more atheists, because we have more Christians. And that is why we prosper. That is why we help others. That is why we have the strongest economy and military. And thank God for people like President Trump, although imperfect like all of us. He was the one called out to serve and stand as a volunteer to lead our country at this time. And I support him, and I definitely am doing my best efforts here in Meridian, Idaho, at a grassroots level to make a difference, not just talk and be in the rat race, but to take action. So, what do you think about that?
And let's face it, that's where you make the difference, at the grassroots, local level.
Yeah, and Kevin, I'll tell you what, man, really, truly praying for you and this station and other strong, fantastic people and groups and companies that do make a difference, because words are important. Words lead to reality. Words lead to how do people think. And if you don't hear the alternate opinion from the mainstream media, you will be deceived, because most people cannot discern between truth and error. They're just kind of blowing with the wind and whichever the way the stream goes. So we need your voice, Kevin. That's what I got to say, man. God bless America. Let's do this.
God bless you, Steve. Take care.
Take care.
I always love that when the presidents say, God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Tess joins us now. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Tess.
Hi, good morning. I'll tell you, I get up every morning and I say, thank you for letting me live another 24 hours. You know, the reason I wanted to call in is because Mr. Alquist talking about his heart attack. And I just want to tell you kind of quickly what it feels like as a woman to have a heart attack. I had a mild heart attack 3 years ago, and heart attacks for women are not like having them for men. I had been out doing some work in the evening and came in, and it took almost 24 hours for this to occur. And when I came into the house, I had a hard time taking pretty much a deep breath and felt uncomfortable, woke up in the middle of the night with what felt like stomach pain. And took some antacid. It helped relieve it a little bit, then went back to bed. So over the period of about another 15 hours, I continued to feel uncomfortable. Finally went to the Albertsons to have my blood pressure checked, and I couldn't get a reading on it. Went down, bought a blood pressure machine, and it blew the cuff off at about 225 over 130. And I went into the ER, actually, made the mistake of driving myself in because I was close to the hospital, and got in there, and it took a long time for them to say, I'm sorry to tell you, you had a mild heart attack. But my symptoms also included just not only the high blood pressure, but I started having neck pain, and I started having just slight pain up in my chest, although I had been experiencing somewhat felt like a pin or a rope being brought across my jaw. I had experienced that for probably 2 years and attributed it to other things. So by the time I got into the hospital, I was lucky I didn't have any damage. They did not put a stent in because it's in a place they cannot stent. So I'm doing other things for that. But, you know, at the end of it, I also felt like by the time there was pressure in my chest, it went into my arms and down my elbows, and it felt like I had a wetsuit on the upper portion of my body. Now, the good news is my cardiologist, who was a wonderful doctor, was also having something that I developed after the heart attack, which was AFib and supraventricular tachycardia, and they couldn't discern why that came. So 3 years down the road, several trips to the ER, what we discovered is that all those AFib episodes and the SVT episodes, well, they were related to two things. One was I have a horrific gluten intolerance, and those episodes occurred after eating something with gluten. And two, after eating something cooked in canola oil. So many people have an adverse reaction to canola oil, and canola oil can cause tachycardia events. And so that means your heart basically takes off. And the reason for that is because canola oil uses hexene solvent. And so I would imagine a lot of people have an adverse issue with that. But guess who also uses canola oil? Restaurants, delis, many places that serve the public. So it's kind of buyer beware. So, yeah, you do have to take care of yourself. And if you're a woman, it feels a lot different. So go get checked. Find yourself a good female doctor who understands your issues and hormone issues involved with it.
Well, Tess, I'm glad you're still with us. Thank you for sharing.
That's right. God has a purpose for everybody. Maybe this was it. Thank you so much for being on the air.
Thank you. Life-changing stories here this morning. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Rolling on the right side, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Max in Garden City. Good morning, Max.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know, the more I listen to Omar, the more I realize that intolerance has become the watchword for the Democratic Party. I looked up intolerance in the dictionary, and one of the synonyms it gave was bigoted. Can I call Omar a bigot and get away with it?
Well, certainly our comments against Israel were anti-Semitic.
Well, understand, Kevin, you've met me. We've shaken hands. I am a person of color, a pink color and a brown color.
Well,
but I'm definitely a person of color. And when she and her other cronies start attacking me, I want to cry bigot, prejudice, hate crime. Because I'm as much a person. Look at you, dude. You are about as pasty white as they get. You're a man of color. Am I wrong?
Well, I'm glad you let everybody know I'm about as pasty as you can get. That's very appealing. However, you are correct, and occasionally like you, I'm a fine shade of rosacea.
Exactly. We have the very appealing colors of red, white, and is he going to have a heart attack? Yellow.
Exactly.
And I'm qualified to speak in heart attacks. I'm glad to hear so many people bringing this to the forefront on your show today. As a trauma physician, I've seen more than my share. And you and I, if you look at us, we would seem prime candidates for such. But we're not. We keep on trucking on, brother. And you keep on trucking on the show. Don't let up on this Omar. She is a dirtbag. She is a swine. She is an intolerant hater. We don't need any haters in Congress. Like to show, hey, listen, check your email when you get done. I sent a little 60-second thing I attached. I produced a little spot about this food tax. I'd like you to listen to it. If you like it, play it. If you don't, trash it. Okay?
Smash or trash with Max.
You got it, buddy. Although I call it a moment of madness with Mac in the morning.
All right.
All righty.
Thank you, Max. 580-5436, 580-KIDO.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
50 years ago this week.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first men to walk on the moon.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
I believe that this nation should commit itself, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Here's to the estimated 400,000 engineers, technicians, and scientists who made it possible.
Dear men from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon, July 1969, became in peace for all mankind.
And to the men of Apollo 11, Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, and Neil Armstrong.
I wonder if we could call them men today, or we'd have to say they that did this. More on that in a minute. Traffic and weather together. Kevin Miller in the morning. And I'm Kevin Miller in the morning, where we continue to salute American greatness, inspire greatness in our area here in Idaho. Don't forget, you can always check us out, like a lot of people do across the country, with the KIDO Talk Radio app. So if you live in the Treasure Valley and maybe you've got a newfangled device and it's all so confusing, you can load our app onto your phone, your car. If it's on your phone, it'll be in your car. And boom, you can get access to podcast, app alerts, and, this program and every other right here on KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up next, there's a movement now within the devious little libs within the House of Representatives wanting to raise the minimum age. And think about that, not the minimum age, the minimum wage. And think about that. What's wrong with that? Currently the federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, which is the same in the state of Idaho. Why not raise the minimum wage to $15 per hour? If you want to read more about the story, you can go to KIDOTalkRadio.com, where we have that for you at this time. Thank you for listening. We're just getting started. Did you know KIDO Talk Radio is your home for Fox News now?